When I decided that I was going to tell him that I wanted a divorce, I texted my therapist, our marriage counselor, and I was like, I need to tell him that I want a divorce, but I want to do it in a session so that there's like a mediator present.
Translation. You wanted to put him in a position where he was going to be blindsided for your entertainment as well as your enrichment financially. You see, English isn't hard, ladies, especially when it's your first language.
Got us in like ASAP, like 2 days later. And I walked in knowing that I was going to ask for a divorce. And so we sit down in our session. It's like really tense, really awkward. My ex was sitting there like, so why do we have an emergency session? Therapist was like, Jamie, do you want to start? And I just started crying. And I was like, I want a divorce. You know, it's hard for me to like say the words. And I was like, I'm done. I want a divorce. He sat there quiet. I'm sitting next to him crying. He didn't move. He didn't look at me. He didn't react at all. He just was stone cold. And eventually our therapist was like, would you like to respond? So he responded right away. And he's like, fine, let's just go ahead and finalize the details.
Good for him. And the look on her face right now is a look of befuddlement. She didn't get the narcissistic supply that she planned for. She didn't get him to act a fool like she hoped he would, to come begging, crying, and screaming as if she's some prize to be maintained or retained. That man performed an on-site cost-benefits analysis and realized just what his life is going to look like once she leaves compared to having her in it.
And that was that. And I just was like, I looked at my therapist and I was just like kind of stunned. Like I knew that I was ready to leave that day, but I couldn't believe that that was his reaction. There was no empathy. There was no compassion. There was no like wanting to fight for us, which...
Imagine emotional shadow boxing, guys, which is effectively you fighting for someone while they've entirely given up on you. This woman wastes our time talking about compassion and empathy. Where is her compassion, empathy, and fidelity in taking her wedding vows seriously? She's upset that this guy isn't fighting for her, but she's already thrown in the towel.
I didn't think that there would be, but you know, you just always hope that like one last try, you know? We went home that night. We didn't speak. He slept on the couch. I woke up and went to work the next day. Came home. He was playing PlayStation that night. I sat next to him. We hadn't talked in 24 hours. And I said, can we talk about what happened yesterday? And he was just playing, just looking straight ahead. And he's like, what's to talk about?
Yes! 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 Yes!
Salute to him. He didn't want to sleep nowhere near her. He didn't want to get the stench on him. And the next day, all he wanted to do is play Call of Duty with his bros. What the hell are we talking about? Your mind's made up and therefore closed. After all, he's giving you exactly what your mouth said that it wanted. So get out of his fucking face.
In my mind, I'm thinking, this is our last ditch effort to like steer the ship around, you know? And I was like, so what are we going to do? And he just kept playing. And he was like, I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. He had done things within that 24 hours. He had opened up the filing folder of his single man life and went ahead and got all this shit done.
Incredible. So desperate for her narcissistic supply is this chick that she's talking entirely insane. Steer the ship around. You can't turn around a ship that's already sinking. You can't turn around a ship whose crew has already jumped into the water into their lifeboats. This man did exactly what he was supposed to do. When his so-called wife decided she was no longer up for the job, he took a look at how much time and money he's wasted. He took a look at what his life had become, and he took a look ahead to see what his life was going to be without her anywhere in it or near it, and made the arrangements. Good for him. This is a masterclass on how to handle being betrayed by a woman.
So it was like within a couple days, he moved out. Yeah, he says he was shocked, but let's be honest.
Couple things we don't know. We don't know how long they were married, and we don't know how long they dated beforehand. I didn't hear anything about kids, which is great. But also, what we don't know is if he overheard that conversation just a couple days prior. We don't know if he walked in and he overheard her talking to her co-conspirator disguised as their therapist, who he could sue if he really wanted to go through it, but I guess he won't because he just wants it over with. But yeah, he could have heard her talking about her master plan. He says, you know what? Okay, cool. I'm not going to be nowhere I'm not wanted. I don't go nowhere I ain't invited. And he made his preparations. He cut ties both economically, residentially, and emotionally. You don't want to be with me? The feeling's mutual. And she didn't get what she hoped for. She hoped he'd spaz out in that office and she'd have a witness. so she could use that as a victim card to tell the entire world that he's just a maniac. That's why I had to leave him. You know, guys, the fastest way to piss a woman off is to give her exactly what she wants, or at least what her mouth says that she wants, because they're so chaotic, they're so erratic, and they're so at war with everything about them and around them, including us and themselves, that they can't imagine having a world where they aren't the main character. This chick is going to spend the rest of her life. She's already on the downslope. She's already on the decline. She's mid as hell now. Repeat, she is mid as hell now. It only gets worse from here. All the cosmetics, all the Botox, facelifts, whatever she might do to try to keep herself up or around and try to get back out there on the dating market. Yeah, some young guys who will smash for practice. But that dude will go on to be very prosperous. He's understood what Marcus Aurelius tried to teach us. Stoicism is how you handle emotionalism. He refused to give her the conflict that she wanted. He refused to give her the chaos and the drama that she was looking for. You don't want to be with me? Cool. I withdraw my attention. I withdraw my provision. And I withdraw my oh so valuable non-sexual attention. You get no more. I'm out of here. Good luck to you. Make room for your better behaved, far younger, much more attractive replacement.
I decided to move into another direction.
That's how you feel. Gotta respect it.
And that's all you have to say. That's how I feel. I'm gonna respect it.
You seem like
You said your one-liner. If that's all you have to say, let's hug and let's just let it go. You ain't trying to fight for nothing.
You seem like you've already made your
It ain't about me already making a decision. You don't have a rebuttal to nothing that I'm saying.
You already made your decision.
I wanted you to say something, and you're not saying it. It's not time to listen. It's time to talk. All of the things you say you want to be there. You're here for me. You're all about the future and everything. You didn't even fight for a second.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
There are several lessons waiting to be learned from this video. Number one, this type of foolishness is not confined to white or black. Number two, this type of foolishness is not confined to dating or marriage. Number three, a woman who pulls this stunt is doing so from a place of weakness. She's doing so because the life that she lives has too much calm, too much certainty, and therefore is in dire need from her perspective of all types of unnecessary and completely avoidable drama. Guys, please understand, when fighting from a place of weakness, you often make drastic, unforgivable mistakes, things that tend to hurt you far more than they help you. When you're dealing with a woman, guys, and she tells you that she's ready to exit the relationship, I want you to remember Brifo's law. For those of you who are new, never heard of the concept, I did a video on it a while back. I'll link it and pin it to the top comments. You can check it out. Explains it further and in full detail. But for right now, the cliff notes are these. The female, not the male, of any species sets forth the parameters of the relationship. And where the female can gain no benefit, the relationship no longer exists. Translation, what have you done for me lately? And how much power can I gain that I don't need and have access to? Guys, if a woman tells you she wants to leave your life, the absolute best thing you can do for her, for you, and for your mental health is to open the door and make sure you lock it behind her. Cut off all communication with this person if you can. If you got kids, that complicates things. But if you don't have any shared property, if you don't share any pets, if you don't have any offspring, and you don't have commingled finances, the best thing for you to do is to give her the streets she's in such a big hurry to get back to. Give her the streets, because the streets don't love nobody. And it's freezing cold out there. Your job from that point on is to boss up. Get in the gym if you haven't been. Get your money up if you've been slacking. Reconnect with your friends and family. They love to see you, love to hear from you. Because chances are a woman like this did everything she could to keep you from them. Try to monopolize your time and deep six some of your favorite hobbies in favor of her getting that attention instead and the money involved, whatever that hobby may have been, especially if your hobbies are expensive. So no, guys, you don't fight for a relationship. You fight to better yourself. The woman that's for you doesn't pull these stunts. The woman that's for you does not carry you through this. She would care too much about you to try and harm you in this way. You don't need anything from a woman like this, guys, except watching her walk away until she's just a dot on the horizon. In closing, I'll leave you with 3 pieces of advice. Number 1, never give in to emotional blackmail. Number 2, take a page out of the books of the boyfriend and the husband in these videos today. Hold your frame. Work on your poker face And number 3, last but not least, my personal favorite, never negotiate with terrorists. That's all I got for today, fellas. That's my time. Like the video? Comment down below. Share with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Networkers, we working. Until next time.